up here. You don't just come here for the racing, you come here for the atmosphere of Darwin.
Some terrific battles off in the background. Jack Johnson, along with William Exton, is going to win. That will be worth so much to them going into the remainder of this championship. A little in the way of highlights for you, a snapshot of what happened on Saturday here at Hidden Valley and Monochrome GT4 Australia. The great thing is we reset, we get a second helping, we get to go again. Good morning, everybody. Nice to have you with us. Greg Ruston, Lee Holdsworth in commentary live on Fox and KO around Australia and on our YouTube channels internationally. Charlie Barlow and Chris Stubbs in the pit lane for us, along with Cameron Vandenduggen. We are going an hour of racing here. That car on screen, Tom Heyman and Jet Murray, lead the championship at the moment on 84 points from Blake Tracy and George Miedeke on 77, Cameron McLeod, Mason Harvey on 75, and then Aaron Cameron and Lockie Dalton, who did that excellent job with us on the track walk piece a little earlier in the weekend, they're on 74, just 1 point behind McLeod and Harvey. Now, Lockie helped us look at the track visually, walking around it. This is a map of what it looks like. 2.87 Ks, runs in the anti-clockwise direction. They kind of began building a motorsport complex here in the 1980s, but we think of it from the late 90s onwards when supercars came here. 14 corners in all, Lee Holdsworth. There is a bit to this place, some good potential for passing at places like 5 and 6. You've got to carry momentum over the back there through turns 10, 11 and so on. Great little joint this. I love it, not just because of the hospitality we have when we come to the top end.
Yeah, it's a really technical track. It's one of the great tracks of Australia, a lot of history. And as you mentioned, great passing zones. Turn 1 being probably the best after a 1.1 kilometre straight. So you get the great toe down the front straight here and then throw it down the inside of the car in front, and then also into turn 5 and 6. The rest of it's pretty tricky. So anywhere else is pretty desperate to go for a pass.
Now, we probably should make a bit of noise about our pole sitter, and that is Jensen Shearer in the Porsche GT4 Cayman RS for Renan Motorsport. Did a great job in qualifying for this second race, and will start from the top spot. This field is stacked. Great cars from McLarens, as you can see there. There is a swarm, an army of Mustangs. There are some cool BMWs. Toyota Supras have been getting stronger, more prominent with every outing. I love the fact that we've got a Porsche on pole position. And that Audi, that orange and white Audi that you can see there, that Blake Purdy shares with Joe Stewart, they missed the opening round with an unfortunate gearbox issue. And when we look at the progress they have made now, they find themselves, they're now 5th on the ladder in a point sense. They're, what are they on, 67? Only 7 points behind Aaron Cameron and Lockie Dalton in 4th. Had they not missed that opening round, they could very well be at the top of the ladder. That's proven across multiple tracks now to be a really good car.
Well, they were strong yesterday. Had a great start to the race, leading for the majority of the way before the pit stop. So they'll be on today, trying to capitalise on that pole, that starting position of second on the grid, the front row. Sorry, third on the second row. So be looking for a pass down there, making the most of the cold tyre start. Everyone's aggressive on that first lap. It's the best chance to make up positions.
And if you were with us yesterday, the competitors that are at the wheel of these cars now were those that finished our Saturday race. So we swap things around on Sunday. They'll take the start here. So worth keeping a little watch on George Miedeke. They finished pretty strongly there yesterday in that Lubramax Mustang, the 35, coming out of position 5 on the grid. We know that Jet Murray will be strong as well. Some great teams represented here from the Miedeke Motorsport team, who have 2 cars in the field. The team that did the job, as you saw in the highlights yesterday, Team Suter Motorsport. Awesome for Zach, for his dad Shane, for all the crew that have been working so enormously hard. But it is the youngsters who did the job together. A Kiwi in William Exton, alongside him Jack Johnson, who is the son of Bulldogs legend Brad Johnson. Great piece of confidence for Jack Johnson to take into today's race. And he's coming out of position 6, but will have a compensation penalty added to their mandatory pit stop time. It'll be a little bit tougher for them. We're underway and racing. They go 3 wide down the main straight. How good is Monochrome GT4 Australia? And Shearer holds on to the lead going down, or tries to, but gets rounded up on the outside. Nice work by Harvey. In the Mustang, there's contact. They make contact. Around he goes.
Makes contact with the fence there after a great start.
There's damage to the Porsche as well, I reckon, Lee. This might be safety car here, depending upon the damage to that Mustang. He carried, look at it, have a look at it. For the multi-spares team, it's still moving just. It's all benefit to Jet Murray and George Miedeke. Stayed out of trouble. Cooper Cutts is up in the order too. Good job, Cooper Cutts in the second of the Miedeke Motorsport Mustangs. Safety car.
The Mustangs had the grunt off the line, didn't they? Harvey.
Can't do that. Was that a pass there? We're under safety car. That might have to be handed back, that position. Keep going. Sorry, I've cut you off your point there.
I'd love to see this restart of Harvey. He had an enormous start on the outside.
He's gutted, and understandably so. Here we go.
On the outside, you've got Harvey in the Mustang. He gets a great launch and breaks super deep to take the lead into turn 1. Had to pull it up pretty hard given the late braking, which allowed the Porsche to get to the inside, and then there's contact at the apex, which spins the Mustang and sends him into the wall. It's a lot of damage.
What's the impact been like for Jensen Shearer, for our pole sitter as well? Around goes the Mustang and makes contact with the wall. Shares that car with Cameron McLeod, a rising star in Australian and even international motorsport. The body language says it all, doesn't it? So that's Sam Paley looking on there, who does some racing internationally for Ford, and great to have the American back with us. And his car at the moment that he shares with Wallace is in 4th place. So they too have emerged from this incident. It was a good piece of driving from Jack yesterday, and Sam generally. Sam helped set it up. He was pretty fired up. But they brought it home with an excellent podium, and you can see that kind of grey and day-glow yellow entry coming through there ahead of Chris White, the Kiwi, the 86 champion. Brad, who drives our Ford Ranger Raptor recovery vehicle, he has been busy this weekend clocking up some miles. All of our recovery team, we thank them for what they do here, and the Ranger enables us to get it done pretty promptly, but we need the flatbed on this occasion. Brad actually drives one of the trucks in the paddock. He hails from Bathurst and has made quite the road trip. Has come all the way up from Bathurst over 3 or 4 days here to get to the top end, and he'll do the same going home. A couple of good stories in relation to the community of drivers that we have that haul some long miles in motorsport, bringing our trucks, our equipment all the way around the country. So let's have another little look at this. Our pole sitter is back in 9th now, Jensen Shearer, ahead of yesterday's winner in Jack Johnson. Just have a second glance at this and tell us your thoughts.
So I think what's happened here is the Mustang of Harvey, it's gone around the outside, held the outside line. Shearer tries to tuck in underneath him at the apex. His right front clips the left rear, launches Harvey off the track. It looked to me like Shearer just couldn't get it turned at the apex and ultimately runs into the Mustang.
Different angle for us here. There you go.
Be very surprised if that hasn't done steering damage to the Porsche. Shearer.
And in the meantime too, Cooper Cutts, you could see he was super deep under brakes going down into turn 1, And as all of that unfolded, he's ultimately found himself in third place. He shares that car with the Kiwi and Blake Dowdle. That's a really strong run for those two guys, or strong start, I should say, for those two guys. Keep a little watch on Chris White as well in that Garth Walden Toyota Supra, that black, blue and yellow entry just coming through. Middle of our shot there now, behind Wallace in the Mustang. There's the motocross track.
So Jack Johnson, yesterday's winner, down in 10th. He's lost a few positions out of the incident at turn 1. Probably did everything he could to avoid the accident. A few taking advantage, some taking a cautious approach.
That's a blow for Cam McLeod too. Would love to have seen him at the back end of this race and what they might have been able to deliver there, he and Mason Harvey. So to David Schramm, all of the team at Multi-Spares Racing there, that's a real shame for that squad. We're under safety car. What have we got? Just under 50 minutes remaining in this race. We'll get some thoughts on what's played out there and how maybe some of the teams feel about it very shortly from our crews down there. So race being led by Jet Murray, and incidentally they lead the championship. As I said, that car run by Method Motorsport that he shares with Tom Heyman. We need to look at some of the other class competitors for you. Silver Ram is Dean Campbell, and Dean's doing a great job there in 11th outright at the moment. And Jared Keat, who took things out yesterday in our AM class. He's had a great start. He's battling with Walker there. They're one behind, Walker's just behind him at the moment. They're 12th and 13th respectively, but leading the AM class. Now, Race Control have noted, understandably, the incident at turn 1 between cars 46 and 227. 46 is our pulse hitter in Jensen Shearer. 227, unfortunately, is that stricken Multi-Spares Mustang of Mason Harvey, which is on the flatbed. Why don't we take this opportunity while we're under safety car, get a little bit of news from pit lane. Here's Charlie.
Thanks, Rusty. Thought I'd jump on down and have a chat to Aaron Cameron, who's obviously watching Lockie Dalton out there at the moment. I will be quite quick in case we do go green. Aaron, I saw on the socials last night you guys changed the motor in the Mustang.
Yeah, we've been struggling for a bit of straight line handling, I'd say, all weekend, and QR as well. So we thought it was some other bits and pieces, been working pretty hard, but last night made the decision, change the motor, and see how it goes today. Comes with a rear of grid start, so Lockie made it through the chaos, and I think we're up 5 spots, so hopefully we can just get underway and get some clean running. And obviously just such a shame to see our teammate Mason get taken out there by the Porsche, so hopefully they can have some luck at some stage.
Yeah, you and I did say, look, I think it's best that we perhaps let Cam McLeod have some time. He wasn't too happy about what happened. What was your take on it?
No, I don't think the Porsche gave Mason any room there. It was pretty crap, and I'll speak on behalf of Cameron for that one, because I think he's got a few more words, but I think, hopefully the stewards can have a look at it and make a good decision.
Thanks for your insights.
Thank you, cheers.
I think that basically underscores a couple of things, right? Firstly, Cam McLeod is serious racer, serious competitor, and wise that he's just taking a little moment to gather his thoughts. We will hear from him, no doubt, before the end of this race. And what Aaron has just described there is just the cachet of this championship now, the growth that we've seen in GT4, what it means to these competitors, the fact that we can get an Aaron Cameron, among others, competing in the field of that quality. So, there'll be some thoughts on that. Most importantly, there's a very good team in Motorsport Australia, Race Control, that will review things, and that's with the benefit of the right information, the extra data, with the likes of a Craig Baird from a driving standards advisory input and so on. So we'll keep you posted on that with our Shannons Speed Series, our GT World Challenge Australia and Monochrome GT4 social channels. There comes that stricken Multi-Spares Mustang. It's tough to watch. Lights are out though on the BMW M3 safety car. Looks like we should get a resumption of racing this time around. Need to say well done Jay Murray as well in that BMW in an excellent 7th place at the moment. He's a driver with a lot of talent. Keep an eye on that green entry you can see in the background. They're being guided by some very good people in that team as well. We're just about to go. Jet Murray will control the field. George Meadick, he's got a huge wealth of experience, and he's been guiding the likes of Cooper Cutts, who's stepped out of radical racing, got this opportunity. He's in a rock band and goes to university every other day of the week, but when he goes racing on a Sunday, he absolutely loves it, Cooper Cutts, but he's got the team boss ahead of him and a pretty fired up Wallace in the background. They've had a great day yesterday, he and Sam Paley. Could they get another podium today? We're underway with racing again in the top end. Monochrome GT4 Australia. Murray leads the way. Can we get through one cleanly? So often safety cars mean that we get a bit more of them. They tend to repeat themselves.
Watch for the grunt of the Mustang. Mediki in second.
Something to that story there, Team SRO Motorsport. What's happened to our winners from yesterday? So they've moved in Motorsport Australia race control. There is a drive-through penalty for the 46 of Jensen Shearer. The pole sitter has a drive-through penalty. And they've got that 114, the Dexion entry up on the skates, have they? So that might be game over. What's happened to the McLaren on Sunday?
Maybe a sensor issue, maybe a cooling issue.
Is it off the ground? I'm trying to double check.
It is off the ground.
Yeah.
It's up on the Go-Jacks.
So Murray just gets his head down, and it's a 0.8 of a second lead. Now watch for Wallace v Cutts. That battle for third place is under siege, but Wallace is on the outside. Cutts should be able to try and defend it if he's brave enough under brakes, and he is. Watch, Chris White is looming here in the Supra for Garth Walden's team. He's the danger guy. Out of 86 racing in New Zealand, has been on he hails from Christchurch. His family have a building company. They make university accommodation in Christchurch. Beautiful uni-accom too, and he's often on the tools, Chris, but he's been so passionate about his racing. And Nico Kayol, who's head of Toyota Gazoo Racing's program there in New Zealand, is here and with Garth Walden's team, as he is at every round. And this youngster is paired with Daniel Frugas. As we said before, the Supra in recent rounds has been coming on stronger. Let's get an update from Chris.
Is what the team is telling me. So while we have a look at them go to work there, Will Exton is alongside me. Will, what can you tell us any more detail?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't have much more details. It's very unfortunate, but he reported a few issues over the radio. So yeah, we had to come in because he lost power steering, so he wasn't going to be able to carry on safely.
So this, as a youngster, is the highs and lows of motorsport, right? One day you win, the next you're in pit lane. I mean, how do you cop that?
Oh, you're just going to take the positives. I mean, yeah, we had a fantastic day yesterday, and I think what we can do now is just go get some, do some laps and, get some more preparation for the next round. So I'm very unfortunate, but yeah, that's racing, I guess.
Hard luck, thanks for your time.
Cheers.
Watching Lockie Dalton on the other side of the screen. Thank you, Chris, because Aaron Cameron mentioned it in the interview there before about just the spots he's been able to claw up having had that engine change. He's now up into 14th place, has moved by Kent Quinn in the Porsche there, and he, I guess with the added benefit of the safety car, but importantly some good choices by Lockie Dalton, into 13th now. Good piece of driving from Dalton. That's the sister McLaren from Team SRO Motorsport. Glenn Nerwin is at the wheel of that car in 15th at the moment. He will hand over to Zach Suter in the second half of the race. Jack Wallace for Wallace Motorsport in the car that he shares with Sam Paley, sitting in the draft there behind Cooper Cutts, who's held on to that third place. Mediki Motorsport happy. Their drivers second and third in this race. Good start for the Mustangs. Looks like the Audi's starting to apply some pressure to the Supra now. It's Job Stewart at the wheel. He looks. Chris has got it covered going into turn 5. Difficult to get the pass done there. Now they run up into the valley section, and Jay Murray enters that equation too. That's a good fight. Supra versus Audi, or Toyota versus Audi versus BMW. Thank you very much. Nice little summary or illustration of what Monochrome GT4 Australia is all about. Different marks. All in close company, and off goes White. White's run off there at 7. Now, was he helped off or just on his own? How did that happen? And it's meant that both Murray and Job Stewart have come through. Let's have a little look. Chris has recovered. It's 2 spots he's lost. So can we tell there what's happened? Watch in the background.
He's just run wide. Very hard to come back on the circuit. No grip out there.
And he's rejoined by the Gomersall Motorsport entry of Jake Camilleri there with the Mobil 1 signage on it. He's been around this style of racing, production-based racing, for some time. Really good, and again showing that wealth of experience. Camilleri sitting in 8th place at the moment. Campbell is the best of our Silver Am competitors. He's 9th now. Good job.
So Jay Murray here in the BMW. I was having a chat to Eric Pender, ex-Holden Racing Team race engineer. He's telling me about the rise of Jay Murray. He hasn't done much racing, but he's on a great trajectory, doing some great things. He's gone through only a few categories, only started racing a few years ago. I think he's a bit of a sim racer, so he does gets most of his experience behind the computer screen. It's obviously playing in well for him. They did a test day at Sydney Motorsport Park, and Eric thinking, well, yeah, we all know Sydney Motorsport Park is quite a tricky track for a driver, but apparently within a couple of laps he was...
Oh, no! Lockie Evanet and Andrew Torty at the wheel of his car at the moment in the 88. They were so happy after a class podium yesterday. Torty's off, that thing is beached and it's not going anywhere. Will we get another safety car? You would think we will. He's got the super fired up, but I can't see it getting out of there.
No, that is not going anywhere. There'll definitely be a safety car.
A couple of cars have been noted about a potential breach of safety car protocol too from the last one, and I need to check the number. Do not quote me on this. I think one of them might be the 58 of Sam Brabham, but I'll get some clarity on that for you. So they're busy in race control at the moment. We will bunch the field up once again. Shame for Andrew Torty. Great day yesterday for he and Lockie Evanet. Evanet was so happy at the end of things yesterday. Oh, Sunday is throwing up a bit of variety here in Monochrome GT4 Australia. We still have compulsory pit stops to come. That is confirmed, incidentally. A potential, an alleged safety car breach, and it relates to the 58, which is Sam Brabham, and also, as they spin the wheels in that Supra, the 14, I think, is that right? Is that, which would be Walker in the AM class. So to see what they do. Just to come back to your point on Jay Murray as well, who sits in 6th place now while we're under safety car. I think Eric Pender in that story, I had a similar discussion with him. At the conclusion of that test, he sort of said, oh, I've got to go now, and the inference was he was going back to study, and Eric thought, oh, he must be off to university, and it was actually school. So he's a young fella with a huge amount of talent. Andy McElrea, people will following the coverage here on Fox and KO will know McElrea Racing, established on the Gold Coast by the Kiwi Andy McElrea, who's been a former racer in his in his time, but has for 20 plus years now been focused on running a quality race team, particularly in Porsche competition, one-make Porsche competition in Carrera Cup and Michelin Sprint Challenge. He's got the likes of Rob Clark as crew chief and number 1 on Nathan's car. Sean Simpson works on Jay's car. People might know Sean from back in the SBR days in the Pertec Caltex era, from Russell Ingall and Marcus Ambrose, and now Paxton Williams is the number 2 on Nathan's car. He's a Porsche Centre Gold Coast apprentice in his first year of racing. I love the fact that we embrace some of these people from the automotive game and into it. Alex Colvin, Will Felides in there as well. He's the wheel and tyre guy. He's actually Jay's cousin, incidentally, which I love that. So let's get an update from the lane to Chris.
Rusty, we embrace everyone here, don't we? Especially our international competitors, including Sam Paley, who you may recognise his voice. He's done some commentary with us in the Mustang Cup as well so far this year. Sam, just outline for us while we've got a moment here in this safety car, what you've been up to in the last couple of weeks with international travel and what's ahead.
Yeah, it's been great. The last 2 months have been really busy, you know, between our Paley Motorsport program back in the States, running the GT4 European Series. We've had events at Spa supporting the 24, Misano, QR last month in the middle of June, and now we're here in Darwin. So got a lot of miles traveled, a lot of fun has been had, and just getting better and better and continually dialing in this Ford Mustang package.
And a little bit of anxiety in terms of your trip back from Europe and getting stuck in the Middle East there. There was a little bit going on. The family were a little concerned.
Yeah, my dad stresses about the travel, but I just control the things I can control. So no stress on my end, but not the best timing there. But happy to be in Darwin. You know, this is a really fun track, very difficult to pass. You have to work for it. And first official podium yesterday and first official ever podium for Wallace Motorsports. So been a great weekend.
So good. And at the moment sitting in fourth, and you touched on it there, hard to pass. You've got a couple of Mustangs in front of you. Not exactly the easiest to get past in same machinery, right?
Yeah, it's difficult, you know, when you're passing a like-to-like car. You guys have pretty much the same strengths and weaknesses, and this is a tight track. Obviously, you have the long straightaway there, but it's hard to follow closely and not very many passing opportunities. So it's fun. You really have to work for it, and you have to earn it.
You've been with us so far at this year's Shannons Speed Series, so Phillip Island, the Bend, Queensland Raceway. This, I think you said to Rusty and myself, this is Australia, right? This is the American view of the outback Australia.
When I go to Outback Steakhouse in Florida in the United States, this is what I imagine Australia being. So it's definitely lived up to the hype and the expectation, and very cool, very, very cool. You know, the dirt here at the edge of the track is a bit of an interesting element. You know, you can't be dropping wheels, and the sunrises and the sunsets have been great as well.
All right, it's almost time for you to jump in. We'll let you go. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
I think he's getting the nod there in the background from the team. Get the helmet on. There you go. So he's getting back in the garage with a sense of urgency as our Ranger Raptor recovery vehicle. Thank you to Ford there. Goes to work. Gets Andrew Torty out of the sand, the beach, the dirt that's there off to the side. Just couldn't get the traction to get that car out of there. We've got just over half an hour of racing remaining. Some compulsory pit stops to come as well. Jet Murray, if you're just tuning in this morning, leads our race from George Miedeke and Cooper Cutts. Some good young racers to take over. Blake Tracy will take over from George Miedeke. He was rapid yesterday, so worth watching him. And you've just heard from Sam Paley there, who will take over the car that is currently in fourth place. And while we're thrilled to have Sam with us, we probably can't underscore enough the job that Jack Wallace did yesterday. He did a really good job in bringing that, that car to the conclusion of things in yesterday's race. So they're a terrific combo there at Wallace Motorsport, and they may well be eyeing up another podium. Sam talked about how special that was for that team to grab the first one yesterday. Maybe they might go back-to-back today. We understand the lights are out. We're just about to go out on the BMW M3 safety car. If that happens, we'll go racing next time by. So a couple of other things to keep a little eye on too. We got there. Gomersall is up to 17th there at the moment in the car that he shares with Aaron Seaton. We didn't see him on the podium yesterday. We saw Aaron take the podium, so hopefully he was all right, not affected by the heat up here in Darwin. So field under the control of Jet Murray now. George Miedeke is such an accomplished racer in that Lubramax Mustang. He's been in these moments plenty of times. And we're about to let them go once again in Monochrome GT4 Australia. Play resumes, racing resumes in the top end of Darwin. We go green. Good job by Jay Murray too. He's got a little bit of breathing space, and I tell you what, Cooper Cutts isn't afraid to show the nose to the team boss. Bit of work going on in the lane. That's I think the 46, Jensen Shearer. Glenn Nerwin is in there as well. Love, Pearson, and obviously the car of Andrew Torty that we saw there before. Now that's the car that Ryder Quinn will be taking over from Steve Jakic, the Thunder Buddies Racing BMW. They are in 23rd at the moment. Let's see what Ryder can do in the back end of the race. Highly rated young man, obviously the grandson of Tony Quinn, and is a part of the BMW development program, which has seen him in Europe on a couple of occasions this year. Another one to watch out for, Zach Suter, bottom right of your screen, taking over from Glenn Nerwin in the McLaren. We know that there's a problem with the sister entry. You've heard from William Exton there, our winner yesterday. That car is run under the same umbrella there, so hopefully Zach has a good run. In comes the Audi, makes the decision to come in. I think Camilleri coming in as well. Kent Quinn coming in the Porsche out of 14th place. So there's a few of them. Sam Brabham is in the lane as well. Lillis, Gomersall, but up in front. Wallace is continuing to just keep that pressure on Cooper Cutts, but that's, I mean, it's exactly as Sam Paley talked about there before. So hard when the machinery is evenly matched like that.
I think having those bright colours on his car.
Awkward for Ryder to get out there. The Audi sort of parked at an angle. They push the BMW back at Thunder Buddies Racing and get Ryder Quinn out of the lane.
It's out quite a long way in pit lane, so making it very difficult to get around. But getting back to the Wallace entry, it's a super bright car, isn't it? I think that's his advantage, where he can play to his strengths and trying to distract Cutts with that bright yellow fluoro colour on the bonnet and down the side of the car. Jet Murray having a big slide out of the final corner, dropping some wheels into the dirt. Madiki then showing the lights. Maybe just saying, I saw that.
And we're waiting for, that's at Multi-Spares Racing. That's Aaron Cameron limbering up, ready to take over from Lockie Dalton, who's done a great job from the back of the field with that engine change. That car is coming in now. He got it into the top 10 before the stop. There you go. There it's in the lane already and set. Murray continuing to do a ripping job here. They'll be thrilled with that at McElroy Racing. He's sitting 5th in the order, and Chris White's recovered too. That maybe that safety car just helped Chris settle everything down after that moment there at turn 7 before, and he'll hand it over very soon to Daniel Frugas.
There's nothing between this top 6. All very, very even on pace.
Cody Bircher stepping in, taking over from Dean Campbell. Now, Cody has raced not only in Super 2 here recently. People that followed Monochrome GT4 Australia will remember him with Tim Lay. I've no doubt that Cheeky Tim is probably watching on from Orange at the moment, so he was always singing the praises of Cody Bircher. And Mediki Motorsports split their options. In comes Cooper Cutts. Wallace moves to cover there as well, and he'll get ready to hand over to Sam Paley. And in comes Chris White too. So that trio come into the lane. It's a little less busy, a little less chaotic.
So what the teams will be trying to do is put their drivers back out into a gap. Around this track, having that free air in front of you to keep everything cool is a huge advantage. So be looking to where they'll slot back in after their pit stop.
Now, team in the lane just keeping an eye on a couple of things. The 35 and the 95. Might be a little bit of drama around that, just from a strategy standpoint. They wanted to stay in front of Paley, so not drama, I should say, but strategy choices going on. So that's the 95, which is the sister entry of Cooper Cutts. He'll hand over to Blake Dowdle, the young Kiwi who's raced in Formula Ford. In comes our race leader, Jet Murray, and George Midiki stays out. And that's obviously with the reminder that the sister car of Cutts, the 95, is still in there. Blake Dowdle should emerge out of the lane very shortly. It's great that George and his dad and all of the team there have taken the opportunity to run a second car this season, and it's with the view of promoting young talent. And speaking of young talent, he's in the lead at the moment, George Midiki, but he'll hand the car over to Blake Tracy. He's fast, was here in Trans Am in recent weeks. He was quick yesterday as well. Jay Murray stays out there. That's cool for McElroy. And here's the race leading car until the stop. Jet Murray hands over to Tom Heyman, who knows these cars, knows GT4 competition really well. solid isn't in terms of ability. That's not the right word for Heyman. He's a great set of hands. That's a great combo there, isn't it?
Certainly is. He's done some great things in racing in this GT4 category, Heyman. Now, George Madiki at the front will be trying to make the most of this clean air, but he is into pit lane this lap. So our race leader swapping over drivers.
Blake Tracy, there you go. They have a number of, you can see the armbands. We have our SRO team designate some red armbands for the crew to work on the car. We limit the amount of people that are allowed over the line from the pit garage to work on the car. And there's very tight restrictions on the things that they can do. The Morris entry comes in. So back we go. Wait until all of the stops are complete. Just see what happens in the shakeout. Jay Murray, I think, has stayed out there along with Lawrence and Sorensen. Who else? They're about the only ones I think that remain to do their compulsory pit stops. So they're running along with Murray. Will be interesting to see what happens in that regard. Frugas has emerged behind Blake Dowdle. So good job by Garth Walden. And I tell you what, watch for Aaron Cameron. Aaron Cameron in that car that he shares with Lockie Dalton. Remember, they had that engine change. Multi-Spares Mustang started effectively last, and they have clawed their way into a really good position here. So now Murray's in the lane, we understand. The Slattery BMW run real long, but where will that car pop out? The first effective car on the ladder is that one there of Tom Heyman as it crosses the line. As we say, there's a couple of others just completing their final pit stops, but that was the effective leader. We need to see where Murray, Lawrence and Sorensen, but it's Murray in particular that we're thinking about there and where he ends up in the queue. Good job for Blake Purdy and for Job Stewart. They've chipped away in that Audi. They may well again find themselves in podium contention here. And in fact, Purdy has just got the fastest first sector, so he's hustling that car. Good work.
Yeah, Purdy's lighting up the timing screen right now, making inroads on Heyman. Great steerer, Purdy.
It's a little quietly spoken when we caught up with him in recent races. I thought his post-interviews from qualifying and racing so far this weekend have been really good. A bit more animation from him, and it just shows what it means to both of those boys. They're a good combo in that Audi, and something different in this field. It's the lone Audi. We mentioned before about the fact that it wasn't with us for the opening round, but I tell you what, it might have made a few people sit up and take note about its performance since then. He goes personal best in the middle part of the lap, Purdy. Now, where's Heyman? He's in between, Murray rather, is in between Heyman and Purdy. Good job from McElrea here. So the youngster, Jay Murray, is in second place. They ran long with that car, and he's going on with it. Now, Purdy will be keen and energised on warmer rubber to get by him. Can he do that easily? Murray parks it in the middle of the road and makes it tough for him.
Making it very difficult for Purdy. He's had some good speed in this race, Jay Murray. In the BMW, didn't seem to be lacking any speed in that first part of the race, so he can just put his head down here. Just keep the Audi behind for a few laps, try and get him to use his tyres up, overheat them, and give him a little bit of a buffer. But at the moment, the Audi's pressuring hard.
Remember the success penalties for our top three in each class in the wake of yesterday's race. In addition to the 77 seconds mandatory stop time, the 27 seconds it takes to go through the lane, those that enjoyed the podium yesterday get, respectively, an extra 15 seconds for first, 10 seconds for second, and 5 seconds for third. So you're wondering where, for example, the Lubramax Mustang is in the hands of Blake Tracy now, down in 12th place. But their sister entry of Blake Dowdle in an excellent fourth. You can see it in the background there. The Kiwi is gradually hunting down Blake Purdy and Jay Murray. And up in front, Heyman enjoys a 3.4-second lead. Purdy with the best lap of the race, or that Audi with the best lap of the race, a 1 minute 10.552. There's Cameron, 5th place. Congrats to Lockie Dalton, who's helped to set that up. And Cameron, admittedly, we've had a couple of safety cars and so on, but it's the restarts on those safety cars. Each time, Lockie Dalton made some good passes and has moved up through the field. And now Cameron, who's relishing the chance to do exactly this, is in 5th place.
I think the Mustang has good grunt, so those restarts, probably he's loving the restarts, gaining a few each time.
You want a little wake-up call? You know, you were talking about the Eric Pender story there before. Jay Murray, he's a year 12 student at Geelong College. Does that make you feel...
Don't.
No, I'm sorry. But in the same breath, I love that. The Audi's through. The Audi's ahead. Blake Purdy's managed to get by. I don't care. The fact that he's a teenager and is coming here to race in this championship and is showing the kind of ability already, and with some great people, good team around him. That's tremendous. Really good stuff. Dowdle is closing in, so he'll feel a bit of pressure from that as well, and maybe Cameron and Frugus will enter the fray there too. We'll get an update from the lane. We'll keep a little eye on that. Heyman leading by 3.9 seconds as we go to Chris.
Rusty, thank you. Just wanted to detail something for you for Jensen Shearer today. Now, this is the wheel, right? So this is the contact here from Mason Harvey, turn 1. Now, they were doing their stop, and they noticed it at the last second, so they had to rip the wheel off and put another one on. It cost them about 10 seconds on top of their stop time. Now, remember, they've already had the penalty, where they had to do the pit lane penalty for the contact with Mason Harvey. Still sitting inside the top 10. I'm pretty sure that if they didn't cop that, they might be very well at the front. The pace in that Porsche, the pole sitter, remember, is good, but that is the damage, and the picture paints 1,000 words, right?
Thanks, Chris. And my now turned pro commentator beside me is quickly on to where Jensen is in the field. That's unbelievable.
And that's after a drive-through penalty.
7th in the 46, and with that damage that Chris has just reported on. So there it is. There's your pole sitter. So, meantime, Cameron looks like he's managed to break free of Daniel Frugus there. It is closing in. What's he got? Maybe 3.5 seconds to Blake Dowdle, but they're in similar machinery, so it'll be interesting to see how the youngster from New Zealand goes. Organic Proteins entry that Kent Quinn shares. It's a great story that Charlie did a little earlier in the weekend in that Porsche. It's Caleb Patterson at the wheel. We'll share that on socials during the week. He did a really nice job of things at Queensland Raceway while Kent was overseas with the family and so on. And ahead of the Zach Suter McLaren. So what are we talking there at the moment? He's sitting in an excellent 9th place. And the reason that we're showcasing that is because that car leads the Silver Am class now, after the shakeout of our pit stops. So the Porsche, it's a close title fight, or a close class fight. That is why Zach Suter is so looking left and right there, because those two are battling for the class lead in Silver Am. Good work. Patterson leading it though.
It's a great battle here of the different manufacturers. You've got a Ford Mustang, a Porsche, a McLaren, followed by another Porsche, Ford Mustang. You can see the strengths and the weaknesses of each manufacturer. Ford having good grunt down the straight. The Porsche a little more nimble, so they can corner with a little more speed. Probably brake a little later. Any bit of clear air there. Keep the radiator feeding that cool air into the, well, not cool air, is it? It's warm air.
Still nearly 32 degrees. Now we go to Peter Lawrence here for Randall Racing. This is the fight for our AM class competitors. Nathan Callahan in the car that he shares with Chris Lillis. Great combo. and Lawrence fighting and holding at the moment the lead in the AMP class. So we've got great battles right the way through Monochrome GT4 Australia at the moment. Awesome.
And you can see Purdy up the front in second place, chasing down Heyman. He is making inroads. It's down to 2.9 seconds. He's got some speed in that Audi. Great battle going on here.
I'll tell you who we're cheering on as well. Nathan Callahan's got the family here. Danielle's here and the kids, Levi and Madison, who I don't think, they've come up for a bit of a family breather around or holiday around the racing, but I don't think they've been trackside. Maybe his young fella's not been trackside as the Thunder Buddies entry does it. Have a little moment there. It's not a little moment. It's at the final corner. But they hasn't been trackside to see Dad race before. I love that.
Well, that'd be an experience.
Yeah.
You might get hooked.
You think? Are you worried about that?
I'll keep my kids away from the racetrack.
Wondered why he turned up with a tennis racket and golf clubs. Back we go.
It's a bit cheaper.
A bit cheaper. Leading by 2.5 seconds. Jay Murray still holding down third place. Rock solid Jay Murray in an excellent third outright at the moment. Blake Dowdle has moved to be just over a second shy of the BMW, and Aaron Cameron still holding down that fifth place. Numbers starting to pop up. Blake Tracy is pushing hard in 10th place as he recovers from the added success penalty, if you will, the compensation time. And he finds himself in 10th, but we've just got personal best in the first sector, getting closer to Caleb Patterson there, who's off to the extreme inside there, closer to our drag strip. He now files back in behind Sam Paley, who we heard from there before. Deep under brakes for Tracy by the looks of it as he closes right up in the Mustang on the back of the Porsche. That has given Patterson a tiny bit of breathing space in the Silver Am battle. So Tracy in between them is in Silver Cup, obviously. But Patterson leading in Silver Am from Zach Suter. That's our drone camera. Shows you the McLaren, the tough lift McLaren that Suter is piloting there. Out of turn 6 and through 7 now. They do up to about 115 k's an hour at this point of the track, back to third gear. And then wind their way, just edges downhill and through this left-hander. Back to second gear, 90 k's an hour. Bit of difference in all the makes and the way that they generate their lap times, their performance. Get up to about 240 k's an hour down the main straight here at Hidden Valley. Just under 13 minutes left in the final one of the weekend. Race 8 of the championship for 2026 in Monochrome GT4 Australia. A McLaren leading from an Audi, a BMW. There's a Ford in 4th, a Toyota in 6th, and a Porsche with all sorts of drama, having started on pole position. A penalty, a damaged wheel, and Jensen Shearer finds himself in 7th place. Amazing.
Whilst we focus on this battle here, there is a great race coming together at the front between the top three. Turn 1.
We're showing you a change in the AM class there. The SRO Motorsport entry, Glenn Walker. And the Tractix Mustang takes over the lead. Unfortunately, the Randall BMW running wide. Lawrence, after leading that class, was pretty fiercely contested though, wasn't it? The fight for the AM class lead. So it's now Walker from Nathan Callahan in that class, and they are back in 16th and 17th outright respectively. Jay Murray is driving unbelievably well. A personal best in the first sector last time. He has made the mission for Blake Dowdle. Dowdle got it down to about a second between 3rd and 4th place. It's eked out to 1.2 seconds now. Murray, the teenager, is handling this superbly, isn't he?
Certainly is. He's sticking with Purdy within 2 seconds. Purdy is catching very, very slightly on Heyman, and then you've got Dowdle making inroads on Murray just slightly. So the gaps are sharpening up at the front.
Sam Paley there at the lead of this next pack. He's in 8th outright, the American. So cool to have him a part of this. He is busy. He talked about his own racing program there in Europe before. Runs a team in the United States, rated by Ford in its international motorsport program. He's just a pro racer in the way that he goes about it. And I love the fact that he's hooked up with the Wallaces to go racing here in Oz, and he's been a great addition to Monochrome GT4 Australia. Out in front, Heyman leading by 1.9 seconds. Now, we gave you the updated point score at the top of the coverage. If you weren't with us, the combo in this car, Tom Heyman, Jet Murray, lead the points coming into this one on 84. Ahead of Blake Tracy and George Miedeke. Now remember, Tracy is back down in 10th place at the moment. Tracy and Miedeke on 77 points coming into race 8. Unfortunately, here's the real tough part of the story, and that's the reason why I think Cam McLeod is so gutted. Cam McLeod, Mason Harvey, there was an incident at turn 1 that Mustang brought in on a flatbed back into the paddock area. They came into this 3rd in the point standings, only 2 behind Tracy. Morris entry, the 5 ends up in a bit of the dirt, but rejoins and keeps going.
It's his second trip through the dirt for the race.
Yeah, Nathan Murray. We can't give you much more than that. I'm not actually sure what triggered it for Nathan Murray. So down in 22nd at present. Patterson still holding the lead in Silver Am from Zach Suter. Now Purdy, just to keep a little eye on what Lee Holdsworth said there before, what is it now, 1.8 seconds, Heyman versus Purdy. So just need to watch what happens with 9 to go between the Audi and the McLaren. And Blake Dowdle has trimmed a bit. Well done, good spot to Jay Murray. It's tense, but when you get to that point, I guess, where you're less than a second to the driver in front, it's the throwing the line out, isn't it? You get not energised, that's not the right word, but you know what I mean. You're determined to try and get by then, aren't you? So Dowdle is closing, or endeavouring to, on Jay Murray.
It's actually the tricky part. Once you're within half a second of the car in front, you need to do something about it pretty quickly around here, or else you start using your tyres, everything starts heating up. So you want to get it done as soon as possible. As soon as you catch that car in front, you need to get it done, or else you got to sit there and suffer from the heat. 1.7 now, the gap between Heyman and Purdy.
Glenn Walker continuing on in the lead of the AM class from Nathan Callahan. Lawrence is back in 3rd after that brief off there at turn 1 in the 33. We return to this freight train of cars battling away. Now Tracy has Cody Bircher on his tail, and that is for position. They're ahead of Zach Suter, so that has given Patterson some breathing space, in even more than what I was talking about before in Silver Am. But just watch out for Cody Bircher here. Haven't made enough noise about that car that he shares with Campbell. Great that Campbell's back in the championship. Little lights flash for Tom Heyman, and that's to let Jared Keat know that he's coming. Just wants him to dive out the way. Gets it done. Let's take you to pit lane and get an update.
Thank you. I thought we'd jump in and grab Cooper Cutts here. Blake Dowdle out in the Mustang at the moment. Cooper, that's quite some train at the front, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, the race start was wild. We started at a P10. We didn't have the best quali. And then I just got a really good run. I broke at the normal braking marker and managed to make it stick. And then obviously there was that crash in front. So we managed to get through the 3rd. And we actually had the pace to probably move forward a bit. We just got held up with safety cars and stuff like that. So we had a bit of a slow stop, so we've just dropped back to 4th, but Blake's in the car now, and we'll see how we go.
3 different mates in front of you. Where does the Mustang have that advantage? What would the message to Blake be about trying to stay patient but get past?
Yeah, well, the Mustang is quite heavy, but it does have a lot of grunt, so we'll be looking for a move. Well, I can't speak for Blake, but if it was me, I'd be looking for a move down turn 1.
Mate, how much have you enjoyed this? Obviously the champion from Radical Racing, the progression up to this category. It's just wild, the amount of cars and the talent that's involved.
Yeah, it's so different. I mean, you know, you go from Radical with such a aero-based series, and this is so different completely. So it's taken me quite a while to get used to the car. But I feel like we've certainly started to turn the page, and yeah, we'll press on to the next 2 rounds, and hopefully we can be at the pointy ends.
And Rusty will get Cooper and his band booked in for the end of year gala as our band and entertainment for the night.
We'll be there. We'll be there.
That's a certainty, Chris. Great job. Bribery the band. You can find them on Instagram. He can play guitar, is back at university. This would mean so much to them. He and Blake Dowdle, a lot of opportunity but pressure in the same breath coming into that organisation with this second car, but they want to try and get by Murray if they can, Jay Murray, for that 3rd place in the race.
Eric Pender will be coaching Murray through this, just trying to keep him calm, tell him to keep the car straight, head down, don't look too much in the mirrors, just concentrate on what you're doing. He's been doing a great job this weekend. It'll be a fantastic effort to finish on the podium.
You any good at guitar?
No. I started in COVID.
You did?
And yeah, no, I'm no good.
Oh, we got a little headline out of that. A little bit of music in COVID. You spent some time up in Darwin during that period too. Let's not relive all that. We don't want to relive that period. Back we go, because Patterson is feeling a bit of pressure here because Cody Bircher gets it done, and Bircher is absolutely flying here at the moment. In fact, so much so, in all that battle, Bircher's made the most of it because Tracy's dropped back some positions to be 12th bit going on in this field. Bircher's flying up into 9th place now. It'll be hard. He's got Jensen Shearer ahead there. You can see the Porsche, and then the next target would be Sam Paley. So it's Heyman leading the way by 3.7 seconds now from Purdy, and Jay Murray by 0.5 over Blake Dowdle for the final spot on the podium. It'd be really cool if the teenager could hang on to it, but in the same breath, I think of both Dowdle, who's done the hard yards, the Kiwi, out of Formula Ford in New Zealand, paired with Cooper Cutts. That would mean so much to them to get a podium too. Blue flag being waved furiously with good reason. Shearer and Patterson, the 2 Porsches. There's Tracy. And back we go to our race leader. What have we got? Under 3 minutes remaining.
So the lap traffic really hurt Purdy. He dropped from 1.8 seconds behind Heyman. He's lost 2 seconds. He's now just short of 4 seconds behind. So it's unfortunate. It's the game we play. You need to pick your way through. Heyman did that well. Purdy got a bit held up. Murray's still doing a great job here. He seems to have gotten into the groove here to hold Dowdle off.
Well done to Lockie Dalton and Aaron Cameron too. I think probably in all of the the charge up the order by them in the early part of this race, that might be it now from Aaron Cameron's perspective. He's 4.6 behind Blake Dowdle, but that's amazing to come basically from last to 5th place at the moment. Great piece of driving. Wade Motorsport replay shows us up out of turn 5. Oh, and the 2 Porsches. So Patterson versus the pole sitter, and Jensen goes off, and it's meant that Shearer is now back in 13th place. Aaron Seaton as well in the car that he shares with Gomersall is up to 12th. Good piece of driving by Aaron Seaton. So we've talked about Cody Bircher getting to 8th. Aaron Seaton knocking on the door of the top 10 here too. He's trying to chase down. If he can get by Zach Suter, Aaron Seaton might grab 3rd in Silver Ram. So that's another little one that we'll keep an eye on. Bircher leads the way in Silver Ram now over Patterson. So that's a change of class lead, with Cody Bircher moving into 8th outright as well.
This battle has been going on for a number of laps now. Patterson making the most of it with his fellow Porsche of Shearer, who has been in the wars this race. From the start to the finish.
In the background, you can see that Seaton is right on the tail of the McLaren, right? So that's for in Silver Ram for the final spot on the podium. So Seaton trying to grab that third in that red Mustang. All of them at the maximum. You can hear them through the final corner. Look at Sam Paley too. Paley's under pressure from Bircher for 7th outright. They're in different classes, but Bircher has his eyes square. He's just come back from a trip to Queenstown, spent about 6 days over there with his girlfriend, loved New Zealand, and he's in a nice relaxed frame of mind, racing well on Sunday. That's the change for 3rd place.
Around the outside.
3rd place in class, gets it done. And 3rd place in Silver Ram now. 11th overall, Aaron Seaton, good work.
It's a tricky one to get. That's a difficult one to get done around the outside there into turn 5. He did get a run out of turn 2. He stuck the nose in through turn 1, midway through the corner, in between the 2 apexes.
We've just been keeping a little watch on the gap in the AM class too between Walker and Callahan. They're down in 17th and 18th respectively, the pair of them. This is Bircher. He might get by Paley here. We're nearly at the end of this race, and Bircher's going to get by Sam Paley. Awesome bit of driving. Campbell will be thrilled with that. Back in Monochrome GT4 Australia, paired this weekend with Cody Bircher, and up against the likes of a Sam Paley there. They're in different classes. Bircher leading Silver Ram and moves into 7th overall. I was just making the point about Nathan Callahan there. Just need to keep an eye on him and the rate at which he's closing in on Walker. Time is going to run out, I think, in this race, but it's only 1.8 seconds between those guys, I think, as well. So, in fact, less now. It's under a second between that pairing. Back we go to the front. Heyman with 3.5 in the pocket over Purdy. That Audi has the fastest lap of the race. Murray, and I know you've been talking a bit about that, the teenager has done superbly from high school in Geelong and about to end up on the podium. 3rd outright potentially for Jay Murray here. Ripping story.
Yeah, not too many 17-year-olds getting around in a GT4 BMW on their weekends.
That would have been you back in the day, wouldn't it?
No.
Rocking up to a race.
Commodore Cup was as good as it got for me when I was 17 years old.
Dowdle, opportunity is running out for Dowdle. There's been a 5-second penalty applied to Caleb Patterson. That's for a driving infringement with car. I'm trying to think what that was a little bit earlier, wasn't it? Might have been in that stoush between the 2 Porsches. It might have been with the Kent Quinn entry, I think. And sorry, I beg your pardon, that is the Quinn entry, isn't it? So around with the Jensen Shearer one, around through the final corner. Championship leaders are about to extend things. Tom Heyman does it on Sunday. Great bit of work in the McLaren, and will win by over 3 seconds from Blake Purdy and Joe Stewart. Jay Murray gets home in 3rd place for McElroy Racing. Epic drive. And you know what? I know it's not an outright podium for Blake Dowdle and Cooper Cutts. They can take a lot out of that today. That's a really good result for that pair. Daniel Frugas brings the Supra home in 6th place. And the win in Silver Ram going to Cody Bircher, and he is 7th outright. Brilliant stuff. Lovely to have Dean Campbell back in the championship. Cody jumping in and helping him for this round. That's a brilliant result. And what happened in the end in the AM class? Walker gets it, holds on to it. Callahan closed, but well done because. Despite the fact that I think that it got to less than a second, Glenn Walker has taken it out in the AM class too. Ooh. Well, Hidden Valley's delivered, whether it's GT3 or GT4. Our Bosch Motorsports scoreboard shows you that Tom Heyman and Jay Murray have extended their series lead with a win on Sunday here. Purdy and Stewart, again, in a podium result for that Audi, that Team BRM squad. And Jay Murray, they will celebrate that one. Holding on despite some pressure from Dowdle and Cutts in that race. Tremendous drive from Lockie Dalton, aided by Aaron Cameron. From the back of the field, they get that Mustang to 5th place, and we've updated the classes for you. Cody Birchett takes out Silver Am. Glenn Walker takes out the Am class. And a few things to kind of unravel there. Steering problems for yesterday's race winners in Jack Johnson and Will Exton in the McLaren, so not sure what ultimately unfolded there. And I thought we might see a bit of... he certainly got to 15th place. Good drive by Ryder Quinn there in the Black Diamond BMW. I thought he might have been a little bit further up the order. We did see it go off there, didn't we, at the final corner. Into victory lane. It's not been a stranger, this car or this combination, to being in victory lane. They've done it again there. Congratulations. Awesome work by Tom Heyman and Jet Murray. Murray did a very good job surviving all of those restarts, didn't he?
He did. This is a great operation, Method Motorsport, run by Chaz Mostert.
Let's head down there and enjoy the moment. Our media already capturing it. Pretty wide smile there from Murray. Charlie, take it away.
Thanks so much, Rusty. There's plenty to celebrate for these two. The smiles are very, very wide. Tom Heyman is still getting his helmet off. I'll give him a moment. Jet, we might just quickly speak to you first. Congratulations. That first stint, you had a lot to deal with.
Yeah, 2 safety cars, the big shunt at the start. Hopefully everyone's okay with that. But yeah, Ray was coaching me through it that whole time. I knew Tom could do what he had to do when I handed it over. But yeah, it was a great race. Just managed our gap the whole time and yeah, had a good fun.
Massive congratulations, Tom. Now that you've got your helmet off, 8th career win for you, massive smiles, but you did have to work quite hard for that one. It's hot work out there.
Yeah, it's quite warm up here, but it's luckily the McLaren inside's pretty cool. It keeps us nice and in our form. But sorry, I had to get the hat on my big head, so no, that's all right. Jet did an awesome job. He controlled the race from start to the end of his stint, and he did a fantastic job. Couldn't have asked for a better one. Yeah,
this combo's proving hard to beat and extending that championship lead now. Like, you've got to be really happy with that as we head into the back end of this season.
Yeah, well, obviously we're I think we're just coming into our form. The car is finally working well on this tyre and been working so hard at it and just playing the long game. So it's obviously really competitive this year. So a few different strategies come into the fore, but I think we're doing pretty well.
Watch out, World. You said that you're coming into form.
Yeah, correct.
Enjoy it, guys. Now heading over to our Silver Am winners. This one was one to watch. Congratulations, Dean Campbell, Cody Bircher. Cody, we'll start with you. You tore it up. No one was safe out there in Silver Am.
Yeah, Dino did a good job at the start and handed me a good car for the end, and then just went hell for leather at the end, and it worked out. So can't thank all the team enough, and Dino for bringing me along. It was an awesome weekend. And
it was big enough of a rocket to take on Sam Paley as well.
Yeah, it was I was just going whatever car was in front of me and trying to make the move as quick as possible because we had some really good momentum, so I didn't want to lose that, and it paid off. So no, really happy, and like I said, can't thanks to the team enough, and Dino for having me along.
And let's bring you into the conversation, Dino, because I went to come and talk to you mid-race. I went, you know what, don't worry, I'm going to see you at the podium anyway. Dean, it's great to be back and great to get a result as soon as you come back.
Yeah, no, fantastic. And thank you to Cody for coming along, give me a hand. And hey, to Cam Crick back at home, I know he's getting better. So we'll see him again soon. But Cody's done a mega job, and the team, all my guys that are here, that in the background, unreal. And our engineer, Tony, he's starting to get this car hooked up. That was an impressive car out there, I must admit.
Enjoy that podium.
Thank you.
Now heading over to our AM class winner, Glenn Walker. We thought maybe Nathan Callahan, sorry, I'll just jump in here, guys. We thought Nathan Callahan might catch you, but he absolutely didn't. You capitalised on that error and, of course, took the class win.
Yeah, I was a little bit lucky there. I was able to capitalise on the error into the last corner there, but after a DNF in race 1 in QR, and we've had a couple of mechanical gremlins this weekend, so yeah, what a way to finish on Sunday. Couldn't be happier.
And 4th career win for you. This is really exciting. It was really great to see you. Obviously, you had to be there to be able to capitalise on Peter Lawrence's error, but yeah, give us your assessment of your entire performance.
I'm just so happy with the way I drove this weekend, to be honest. Keeping the tyres on it for the entire race, was a big part of it, but I could see Nathan charging hard behind me, but just managed to keep that gap. So yeah, couldn't be happier to have a win in the top end. Just stoked for the team, sponsors, everyone involved.
Enjoy it.
Thank you.
Highlights for you of the final race of the weekend, Monochrome GT4 Australia. They sent the field away. What a field it was, almost 30 cars heading down into turn 1. Jensen Shearer leading the way in the Porsche, but around the outside came the Mustang. And Mason, unfortunately, as you would see here off the corner, the Porsche makes contact with the Mustang. Around it goes, and the car that he would share with Cam McLeod. And Mason Harvey out of the race, Lee.
Yeah, it wasn't what we wanted to see, but there's been some exciting stuff this weekend down at turn 1. Damage to the Harvey Ford Mustang, Cameron McLeod's car.
A couple of safety cars in this race, pretty dejected, understandably. Mason Harvey, the car came back to the lane. We didn't end up hearing from Cam McLeod, who was pretty upset about it, we understand. Impact for them. They came into this race third on the points ladder too, so it's a brutal blow. Away we go, and racing again. It wouldn't be the first time that we'd see a resumption like this. Jet Murray in the car that he shares with Tom Heyman, and trying to fend off the two Miedeke Motorsport Mustangs. George Miedeke and Cooper Cutts in the sister car, eyeing up, trying to get a podium position in the thick of the fight with Sam Paley. Chris White, the Kiwi, in the, you can see in the background as well, in the Supra. Just thinking this might go pear-shaped. I'll hug the inside here just in case. And all the while, Joe Stewart closing in the Audi as well. The class battles, I should say, were fabulous. And Lockie Dalton, after an engine change in that multi-spares Mustang, from the back of the grid, started clawing his way up the order. In the end, once Aaron Cameron jumped in that yellow and blue Mustang, they would get to 5th place, which was incredible.
It's a great drive. The Supra having a little off-road excursion on the exit of turn 8. And then we had another Supra stuck in the gravel.
Andrew Torty would eventually be recovered by a Ford Ranger Raptor recovery vehicle. Fielded bunched up again by that stage. We went racing and waited for the compulsory pit stops to start. Paley off the back of a podium yesterday with Jack Wallace was hoping to go back-to-back here. Miedeke was pushing hard into the lane. Came Jet Murray, but because of Cooper Cutts being in the lane in the sister car, Miedeke ran longer in that Lubramax entry, and with a little bit of compensation time to add after some success yesterday, the McLaren re-emerged. And then the story took a bit of a turn for us, because Jay Murray, the teenager, found himself within striking distance of an outright podium in the thick of the battle with the Audi. An awesome piece of driving. Caleb Patterson and the Audi of Zach Suter fighting it out for the class lead in Silver Ram, and all the while Cody Bircher kept marching up the order. He would eventually get by Sam Paley to grab 7th place. The outright race win going to Tom Heyman and Jet Murray, and it helps their championship lead. They extend in Monochrome GT4 Australia. Purdy gets home in 2nd in the Audi, and Murray in 3rd. Special moment for this young fella, very cool. Steve McLaughlin there from Pirelli giving him the trophy. They'll be wrapped with that. It's at McElrea Racing. They're a good combo. These two, aren't they? These two, rather, I should say, in the Audi.
Very strong combination. Always fast.
And they keep delivering points and podiums too. Nice. Was that Chaz, I think, was it? Someone in the background there. Well done. They do it again, and top step of the podium. They're our Silver Cup winners, and the top 3 outright for you on Sunday here in Monochrome GT4 Australia. Our media, who've come from all over the country to be here in the top end, capture the moment, but there's a bit of a Mario at their feet, ready to celebrate, and we'll bring you all 3 class podiums here as a part of our coverage. We have some Mustangs standing by. Motorcraft Mustang Cup not too far away here as a part of the Shannons Speed Series.
Non-alcoholic, of course.
I love that. So here's a recap for you of the podium place getters. I don't know that that's Jet Murray, just incidentally, too, there in the on the right of screen. That is definitely Tom Heyman. So, well done. I love that story for Jay Murray. That is really cool for the Slattery's McElrea Racing team, the crew that work on that car. You've talked about the involvement of Eric Pender, who's been doing some stuff in Asia too, working, I think, with Ben Porter and others. So great to have a guy who, at the height of Greg Murphy's career at Kmart Racing and Rick Kelly and so on, with those unforgettable Bathurst wins, is a part of it. Glenn Nerwin and Zach Suter, they get to third place in the end in the Silver Am class. What a story here. What a great drive. Set up, we should incidentally say, by Gomersall in the first part of the race, and then Aaron Seaton just kept mowing them down. They got that car to 10th outright. And here's your winners in class. And nice of Dean to acknowledge Cameron Crick there before we know that Cam will be watching. They've been great mates going racing together, and Cody Bircher subbing for him this weekend, and that, you know, that relative late decision to get Cody in has proven to be a masterstroke. Great stuff. Bircher helping it to 7th overall, but set up by the first stint by Dean.
Riders, the podium's yours.
It was a great pass around the outside by Aaron Seaton into turn 5 on Zach Suter. Put him up to 2nd on the podium.
Recap them for you in the Silver Am class, and we still have the Am podium to come, with Glenn Walker, Nathan Callahan and Peter Lawrence set to take the podium. That's great for Gomersall Motorsport there. Remember, there was an incident in Friday practice for Jason at the Ben Motorsport Park in South Australia. It was this quiet period, and when the car hit the wall, everyone kind of stopped and turned. They've been repairing that car, all hands on deck, and very cool way on the return to racing for them to complete the weekend. First of the trophies goes to the likeable Peter Lawrence there. We get this combo who are making it very close in points terms in the race for the Am class title now. So Nathan Callahan, Chris Lillis, they've been just a model of consistency, this pairing in the Porsche. And great stuff for Glenn Walker. Nice chat there before in the pit lane. Truck-Tix Mustang needed to do some, I guess you could say, like hardship laps in the early part of the weekend. Had some problems on Friday. They managed to get that car sorted, and that's a brilliant way to finish the weekend for our Am class competitors.
The podium's yours.
They turn their attention to the next round of the championship for them now at Sydney Motorsport Park, and it will wrap up for Monochrome GT4 Australia at the legendary Sandown Park in Melbourne in early November. So great stuff. We've enjoyed being here in the top end. Everybody has. Recap of the results for you in our Am Cup class. 3 different classes here in Monochrome GT4 Australia. Our thanks to Lee Holdsworth in commentary. We are not done yet as our coverage of the Shannons Speed Series here in the top end in Larrakia Country. When we return, Motorcraft Mustang Cup. Stick around, live here on Fox and KO.